Sometimes getting more done isn't about getting more done at all. It's really about focusing on getting the right things done. So, today I want to talk about how you can set your day up for success. And this video is sponsored by Fertility House Calls. Hi, I'm Tasha Cochran, and this is One Big Happy Life, where we help you find balance, build wealth, and live happy. Everything that you need to create the life that you want. I don't know what it has been about this year, but the earlier months of the year, like January, February, March, have been kind of crazy. My calendar has gotten really out of control. I would find myself having days where it's just like back to back meetings and appointments, and I wasn't able to move the needle on the big things that I wanted to work on. And yeah, I'm talking more on the business side, but that would be even true in my personal life, because what would happen? I would spend more time working and less time on the household projects that I wanted to work on. Like, there are so many fun projects that I want to be able to spend the time doing that I haven't been spending the time to do. And so I knew that the key to fixing that is paying better attention to what I was doing on a weekly basis, and then especially on a day-to-day basis. So what was going on my calendar? What was I spending my time doing? And what did I want to be spending my time doing? So I have been, it's still a work in progress, but I wanted to share some of the things that I have been doing to really help whip my calendar into shape and plan my day for success. And the first thing that I do is I start with a bird's eye view of the week. So right now I have been doing either a half an hour or maybe even a full hour of planning on Sunday, where I think about, well, what are my goals for the month, for the quarter in business and in life? And then what will I be focusing on over the course of the week to help me accomplish that? And when I do that, I'm not just looking at, well, where will I get work done? But I spend the time to block in other things that are an important priority for me. So one of the first things that I do is I put in my sleep for the week. So I plan to go to sleep by 9 p.m. every day so that I can wake up by 5 a.m. every day to get in a workout, to get in some writing time before Reeves wakes up at 7:30 a.m. Now, he doesn't always wake up at 7:30. Sometimes he wakes up a little bit later, but I want to make sure that when he is up, that I am ready and able to be present with him during our early breakfast time, because that early time is Reeves time. So I actually have Reeves time on my calendar. I also go ahead and put in my lunchtime into my calendar so that I don't get days where I have these back-to-back meetings and then I can't spend any time eating. And then I also put my cutoff day for the workday. And that's what I've had to do to be able to put proper boundaries between work and life, because we are working at home and we also live at home. And it's kind of really easy for work to just take over the entire day. And I found that I didn't like that. I like to be able to shut the computer off and walk away at a specific time every day. And I just wasn't doing that naturally. So I had to set boundaries for myself. So if you look at my calendar, what I've done is I've blocked in my sleep time, my work time, my working out time, my writing time, my early morning Reeves time, and my lunch time. And when I end the day, then that's my evening recreational me time and family time. So now all that's left is for me to start planning out what I'm going to do each day in my work days. And of course, when I plan my week, I'm also thinking about the other things that I have going on that week. Like, will I have doctor's appointments, for example? Joseph and I are planning to start fertility treatments again later this year, and I'm already thinking about what my week needs to look like to accommodate that, which is why I'm so excited that this video is sponsored by Fertility Health Calls, created by Ferring Pharmaceuticals. Fertility House Calls makes it easy for you to request an initial virtual consultation with a local fertility clinic. Getting started is as easy as going to fertilityhousecalls.com and entering your zip code to get a list of nearby clinics and the dates and times that they're available to meet with you virtually from your home. Once you select the provider, you fill in a few pieces of information and click Request Virtual Appointment. So easy. Head to fertilityhousecalls.com or click the link in the description box below to get started. So now that I've spent some time looking at my week and incorporating all of the things that are really important to me in my week, blocking out time for work and for rest and for family time and for me time, then I start looking at, okay, now what am I going to accomplish for each day? And I like to set my top three priorities that I want to make sure that I tackle each day. Now, do I always get to all three? No. But one thing that I have found is that if I do more than three priorities, I almost never get to priority number 4. So sometimes I'll put 4 or 5 if I happen to get to them. If I feel like the top 3 priorities won't take that much time, then I might put a 4 or 5. But it has happened often enough where I don't get to 4 or 5 that I generally tend to leave them off. The other thing that I'll use a 4th or 5th priority for is sometimes I am not feeling priority 1, 2, or 3 when the time comes for me to do the work. And I like to give myself a little bit of an out where I can work on another priority that I know I want to get done that week. And so I will swap them out. Priority number 2 with priority number 5, which would have been priority number 2 for Wednesday. So setting the priority for the day really does give you the focus for the day. Like, what are the most important things for you to accomplish that day? And if you keep those priorities top of mind, then it's so much easier to stay on target because you know you've got to hit 1, 2, and 3 in order for your week to go the way that you have planned. So when you find yourself surfing for office furniture on the internet or just, browsing through Target just to see what's there, you'll catch yourself because you're like, wait a minute, I still have to get 1, 2, and 3 done. And so then maybe that will pull you back so that you can get back to the thing that you want to be focused on for that day. Because if you don't get to it, then it's going to mess with your entire week. So after I've chosen my top priorities, I will break those down into specific tasks and how long I think those tasks will take me. And I will plug those tasks into my calendar. Now, as I'm plugging tasks into my calendar, I do keep in mind how my energy and creativity typically flows over the course of the day. For me, morning times are when I have my most energy, when I'm at my most creative. And so I like to set my creative work for the morning time. So things that take a lot of extra work for me. So if I'm creating a new curriculum inside of Wealth Builders Society, if I'm brainstorming video topics, if I'm outlining videos, if I'm writing an email to our newsletter list, those are things that I will do in the morning. Also, I will often do Instagram posts and things like that in the morning where I'm writing for the feed. If I have to do writing, I like to get that done earlier in the day because in the afternoon, my energy is lower. And so I like to tackle tasks that don't require as much energy, but still need to get done. So if I need to review things, which I often have to do because now we have a bigger team, there's so much going on in the business, I will save that for the afternoon time because I'm reviewing, I'm not creating things from scratch. So they require a lot less energy for me. Another thing that I do in the afternoons and not in the mornings is meetings. I don't do meetings in the morning, which I'm able to do because I have control of my schedule, but you might not be able to do that. But if you can, try to push your meetings to your lower energy time of day, whether that's the morning or the evening. Another thing that I try to do, because typically 1 out of my 3 priorities is something that's going to take some deeper amount of work. And so I will set aside a 2-hour block at least once a day, typically in the morning, for me to do deep work, deep uninterrupted work. And the morning times is also typically the best time for me to be able to accomplish that because Reeves can hang out with Alexis and his energy tends to be a bit on the lower side. And so typically I can have a solid 2-hour block somewhere between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. where I can work without interruptions. And I love that 2-hour block of deep work because you can really focus in on a task and really knock it out. So I've been working on constraining my tasks so that they actually get done within that 2-hour block versus letting myself have this leisurely amount of time to get things done because then there is this idea that when the amount of time that you give a thing, it will just fill it. So if you give a task 6 hours to complete, well, you'll take 6 hours to do it. But if you only had 2 hours to get it done, you would just get it done in those 2 hours to the best of your ability. So I try to force myself into those kinds of constraints so that I'm working more efficiently and not spending a whole bunch of time on a task, just getting that little last bit of 2 or 3 or 5% improvement, but I'm using up so much time that I could have spent getting something else 80 to 85% of the way done. I also take breaks. So during my 2-hour block, I might be able to work the full 2 hours, which I know theoretically, like based on research, that is bad. Like really, we're only supposed to concentrate something like 40 to 50 minutes and then we take a break. But I found that I really enjoy a solid 2-hour block, but I do plan to take a 10-minute break in between if I feel that I need to. Especially now that I have a standing desk, I will often stand or sit, and just walking away from my desk and walking back in and just kind of taking my mind off of it is just enough of that little bit of refresh that I need to help me finish the last bit of that 2-hour block. But like I said, I also plan in my lunch where I step away from the computer, I have lunch. So make sure that you are including your breaks. And if I find that I'm feeling tired on a particular day, I will just go ahead and schedule it in a 30-minute break time or even nap time where I'll go upstairs, sit in our massage chair, have a bit of a relaxing massage, maybe take a little nap so that I can pop back into the office later and feel more refreshed and ready to keep working. And the final thing that I build into my schedule are 2 buffer blocks. So 2 blocks where I am spending time maybe doing activities that would cause me to scroll the internet. Like maybe I'm looking into a new service to use in the business, or definitely going through my email. Now, I do have team members that will go through emails and do an initial triage, and they'll label things. So then they'll label things that need my response. So I'll go through just those specific things and respond to those emails. And of course, I'll go through my own personal email and see if there's anything there that I need to respond to. But I put those in there in strategic places. So my first buffer block is right before lunch, and my second buffer block is at the end of the day. So not only am I going through email, but I'll spend some time reviewing my day, seeing what I accomplished and what I didn't accomplish. I look at what got done, what didn't get done, and then if anything didn't get done, I reschedule it. So that might bump other things that I had planned for later on in the week. And so what that might do is then bump other things that I had planned for later in the week to next week, or I might decide to give myself less time to work on a couple of other projects so that I could fit this thing in, whatever it is that I didn't get done on a particular day. But what I love about that is before, I used to just keep working until it was done and feel like I couldn't stop. And now I don't do that. I say, look, whatever it is, we can restructure, we can reschedule, but we're going to hold the boundaries of the day to what we said we were going to do. So when the day is over, the day is over. So this was a lot. That was my entire week planning process, like this really big overview. And so even if you just take a couple of those tips, the bedtime, planning in those strategic deep work blocks, I think that you'll find that your days will run so much more smoothly and that you're able to set better boundaries, get better rest, and also just be more productive in the time that you do allocate to getting work done. So let me know in the comments what was your favorite tip or takeaway, and I'll see you next time. Bye.